Hi, everybody. Hi. Get my inspiration on. How y'all doing? We're here to create. Oh yeah, we are. Yes, we are. Time to create. We're gonna go out there, way out there, way out there, way out there. So buckle up. Get your pen and get your paper. We're gonna create. We're gonna way out there. Been having all these gifts, all of these experiences open up and activate. Oh yeah, this is Joanna, early morning Ascension show. How y'all doing? Sit your seat down, sit your seat down. Get some paper, get a pen, get your coffee, get your tea, get your sacred water. We're in big energy, big energy. Time to create, people. Wake up. So much good, so much good, so much good. We are here to create. We are here to create greatness. We are here to inspire new worlds, new worlds, new worlds, new worlds, in alignment with light, in alignment with love, in alignment with our oneness and our unity. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes, you are, because you're here. Yes, you are, because you're here. This one is going to be special. We're creating something from nothing, something from nothing, something from mind. That's because we are here to do that. We are masters of the Holy Creator. We are masters of light. We are spiritual beings in essence, and there is so much for us to remember. There is so much for us to get activated within and without. We are in new energy, people. We are in new realms of play. And are you ready? Yes, you are, because you are here. So give yourself permission. I am ready to create. I am ready to create. I am ready to create. Now, remember, we always talk about this in all of my client experiences in the past few weeks in the client sessions. A couple of things in current energies. We are in a full moon, strawberry moon, which is all about changing our perspectives on nourishment, your worthiness to be nourished by source, your worthiness to be nourished in all the multidimensional perspectives that you are, physically, mentally, emotionally, etherically, energetically, spiritually, thine self, self-directed, self-motivated, self-nourishing, self-expansive, not self-defeating. We are self-expansive, we are self-motivating, we are self-inspirational. That is who we are as beings of light. And we are each here to inspire, to reflect, and to honor one another in each path. To be our most expansive, to be our most benevolent, free-flowing, expansive beings of light, infinite beings of light. And we're here to be that for one another in reflection. So allow everyone their path, allow everyone their soul's expression and honoring of who they are. Because the more that each and every person on our planet explores through creative expression, experience, and exploration, we are creating evolution. And those evolutionary momentum bursts of, they're like little pulsars, energy vibrations through each and every one of us, feeling the flow of spirit, giving ourselves permission to live as spirit, giving ourselves permission to be that fluidic, vibrational, harmonic, the song of spirit. We allow those vibrationals to then catalyze all others to awaken their energies, remembrances, vibrational planes that they have potentiation to create within. So today, dear lighted ones, we're going to shift into creating into the 5D, creating into the 5D, creating into the 5D, which we always are. The full moons often allow us times to reflect on, what do I need to release that's no longer serving me? What vibrational stories, what niggles, what frictions are coming up within me that I just get to sit with and I get to be with? What stories of conflict are going on within me? Conflict of judgment, conflict of not belonging, conflict of not acceptance. Whatever conflict stories are going on within you, sit with it. Let it be who you are. Acknowledging it through the full love and acceptance of who you are. So whatever is in your experience as a niggle, as a friction, as a frustration, as a depression, as a suppression, as sadness, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter what it is, because it's all God, it's all source. Claim it as the allness, as the oneness, as the isness of source, because you are. Source is never not in anything, cannot be ever, never ever be, never ever, neither are you ever, never. It's all oneness, all is. That's the omnipresent source creator that we create within. We are God creators. Nothing outside of it. It is the mind and the lower mind and the beliefs and the perspectives that held us in separation of seeing all things outside of thyself, which is not. It's all thyself. When you continually go in and say, this is the essence of God that I'm experiencing, I'm allowing myself to express, I'm going to call it forward, I'm going to honor it, I'm going to face it, and I'm going to be it. I'm going to allow it to be a part of my story, and now I get to transmute it because I've accepted it. I'm no longer holding it in suppression. It can't come forward. I'm not going to honor it. I'm not going to value it. No, call it up. Because I want to be one with source. I want to be my allness with source. The more that you're allowing yourself to honor and accept all that you are, regardless of what it's called, you then get to stand in your allness and say, whoa, I'm this big, huge vessel of allness, and I get to create however I want with this allness, because I've now accepted it, not holding it separate from me, less than, lack of, judging as you know, aspect of, you know, energies that we had in dogma about blame and shame and guilt, and how we were only supposed to experience certain vibrations, and other than that you were a sinner, and whatever those experiences were and those stories were, that are complete falsities of the expression of who we are as spirit, as vibrational beings that are being threaded in a collective of oneness. For us as a collective of 7 billion people in a planet and a galaxy that's going through ascension, it is absolutely impossible for any being that is an emotive being, an intuitive psychic being, a telepathic being, especially if when your DNAs are getting activated, which is the upgrades that are happening right now are activating our heightened gifts of multidimensionality, our ability to communicate and receive information as God's source, omnipresent essence. Going through a clearing right now, because I'm communicating in ways that are different than they were before. So I'm really on a heightened frequency, and why I'm speaking faster. And those of you that know, you're here, you'll get the information. Energies multidimensionally are being placed within your fields, multidimensional stories that are being placed within your fields if you so desire to open up your hearts and receive. Open up your hearts and receive, and breathe. And ground. I'm opening out my heart to receive whatever vibrational stories are meant for me, to allow me to activate, to allow me to heal, to allow me to expand and to explore all that I am as spirit. For it is through my breath and my intention that I am a multidimensional being, and I can become anything I so choose, for I am the creator of all that I am. For I am self-directing. I am the creator of who I am, and I will not succumb to smaller vibrational stories, roles, and definitions that are holding me back in limitation. I choose who I am. I choose who I am. All that I am that I am. I'm healing thy name in all that I am. Amen. Thank you, Spirit. And in this experience of your now expression, you get to upgrade who you are as a receiver, a sender, a co-creator. How do you process information? Because we're going from 3 to 5D, how the mind and how the synapses and how of the flowing of information, the receiving of information, the processing of information, integrating of information, and then the sending of information through the expression. And because so many people are imbalanced and not used to expressing their spiritual experience, their spiritual essence, because they've been suppressed through beliefs and limitations that have told them that the spiritual expression, the creative expression, the emotional expression is not important, and it absolutely is. And that's why there's the physical, multidimensional ailments and illnesses and diseases, because the spirit has not been expressed, because of the limitation of the subjugation and suppression of spirit. Because we are leaving these limiting expressions and experiences, we are now allowing ourselves to move into an omnipresent experience of who we are as God, that God self-creatorhood. That will, as many of you have been experiencing, time lapses between, well, the ego mind wants to figure out the pattern, the pathway, and what's being rerouted now. It's really a rerouting. Unless you have really steeped thought patterns that you are here to transcend and know that you can do that. There's a multidimensional encapsulation. So if you want to book a counseling session with us or coaching sessions with us or private intuitive sessions, please feel free. The links are below. PayPal donation. The entrainment of the vibrational experience of 3D has been the vibrational stories that we've been steeped within. Beliefs, dogma, societal, ancestral, all of the stories that we're coming from. So to honor those little niggles in your daily self-care, what is being brought forward so that you can acknowledge it and release it. The now entrainment is to be your omnipresence, that 5th dimensional, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 10th element. Some of these codes and some of these activations you're getting activated with are not 5th dimensional, they're other dimensional. They're higher vibrational experiences that are harmonizing in your now moment, depending on how much you've cleared, depending on how excited you are to be you, depending on how knowing you are of you as being a self-directed Christic being. The more excited you are in yourself, the more amplified you are in your own light, the more excited and adventurous you are to be you, you open that pathway for those new programs of higher light. We say program very lightly because it's not what we know to be program in 3D, because it's very dense and steeped in fear and limitation and controlled by others. When we say program, it's you get to choose the program of light you want to practice and you want to co-create with and you want to explore and experience and express. So as the mansions of the many heavens, there's infinite number of doors and timelines and rooms that we can co-create within. So as we're meeting together today, and each day we're going to create a new 5th dimensional timeline. So come with an intention. What does my 5th dimensional timeline want to be like? What do I want to create within it? The mind will try and when you're having these activations of new higher vibrational experiences of who you are as a multidimensional communicator, conduit, grid worker, empath, crystalline empath, whatever it is, doesn't matter what the words are, it doesn't matter. Because your gifts are going to open up and you'll have to play and navigate how your gifts are to be used and how you're excited to use them. Most often than not, your gifts will be used to help the collective, help the planet, and then help future timelines of co-creation through the expression of who we are. So your gifts are not in what we've always known to be. So those patterns that the lower mind, the ego, and the behavioral patterning, the lower vibrational patterning that we just negative mind talk, the negative mindsets, the lower and lack vibrational mindsets that we just spiral within, take yourself out of those programs and create a higher vibrational entrainment to just be your allness, to live in that allness. And that is, again, the house of many mansions, where you know that 3D room is there. You can leave all things in 3D in that room and close the door and say those limiting patterns, those negative self-talk, the demeaning self-talk, and all that we do is there. You've experienced it. You've had your ability to know where it served you and how it served you. You've now filled yourself with self-love, and you've filled yourself with the benevolence of who you are as the Christ, as your Pleiadian, Syrian, Arcturian, Andromedan, Orion, Lyran, all of these beautiful aspects that you're now harmonizing. And you know it's there. But now, this allness of your 5D template, there's an infinite number of worlds and realms and templates that are just hovering above us, right here. And as you lift yourself up in breath, as you lift yourself up in anticipation, you lift yourself up in the excitement of you, the ecstasy of God, that's what I was given this morning, the ecstasy of God that is there for you to reach and call into, is there for you to co-create the timeline that you so choose to experience. So what are some of your most excited experiences for the timelines of humanity? Where we have great water, we have beautiful water and air that we're co-creating with one another. So envision a world of great air and water. Vision it. Feel it. What does it feel like? How does your body feel walking in a world of great water and air? And you can see these beautiful waterfalls falling down from, you know, the heavens that are, the heavens are pouring the heavenly cup into our heavenly cup, the sacred chalice of who we are, the sacred chalice of these worlds that we're co-creating. Now remember, as you're opening up, and many of you might be saying that, well, I don't understand anything that she's talking about. What do you mean? I talk, I read a book, I see something, and then I respond to it. That's a linear way of perceiving and communicating and exploring your world. That's one way of exploring a linear experience. That's 3D, if you will, past, present, and future. Well, we all know now that in awakening, all is now. Source is now. All past timelines are now. All moments are now. Your future is now. You're creating your future now. You're healing the past right now. So your experience of who you are is this beautiful experience of source light. You are the embodiment of you. You are the mediation of you. You are the commander of your ship. You are the commander of how you create your reality. All of the ecstasy that is source is always there. Always. Again, how you perceive something changes your reality. So how do you perceive yourself? Do you know yourself as God? Do you know your name as God? Do you know that you're healing thy name and knowing thy name as God? Do you know that there's an infinite ecstasy of God that's always here within and without? Do you know that? Now you do. So in thy knowing of it, how may you choose to walk and direct thy ship of it? Because that is your reality. The ecstasy of God is always there, cannot not be. Source creator. We are being bathed with such light. And now that we're being awakened and we've cleared enough density that we can say, wow, I can create and I can communicate and I can receive and send and process information at a different rate. Doesn't mean different rate of speed, because the ego likes to think, well, I'm processing things faster. That must be better. That's ego. So surrender ego. Just say, go have a nap, and you can be in a nap with all of the other things that are ego. Just sit there and you can just experience ego for a bit. But now there's still a part of you that ego is there because you're wanting ego to help you create through the spirit and soul to say, let's create a spiritual experience where I'm actually one with these worlds and I'm threading my light into these worlds so that in a moment that I want to see, what is my 5D timeline look like? Well, on one timeline, we're helping children create this beautiful new expansive learning higher cosmic evolutionary series. And this is not called schools anymore. They're called something different. And I get to imagine how it looks, and I get to imagine the energy I'm threading there. I get to see the children have fun and play. They're playing in the clouds and they're playing in the trees, and they're coming to explore, and they're teaching us and we're teaching them, and we're showing and we're experiencing and we're exploring and expressing. Then on this other realm that's sitting right here, we're exploring how we co-create fresh air and fresh water, and how we create the healing systems of our oceans. And we're those of us that are devoted to Gaia and devoted to learning about Gaia and sharing Gaia in different ways and communing with Gaia in different ways. All of these gifts and all of these abilities to sense, to see, to feel, to hear, remember, it goes far beyond our senses in what we know to be what we've told. We were told that we only have so many senses. We don't. We are the omnipresent of God. And in the ecstasy of God, we have the ability to become that of God in however way that we are prepared ourselves preparing ourselves to receive greater light, preparing the multidimensional systems to receive higher vibrational thought forms. Those higher vibrational thought forms do not think and process and integrate information in the linear way. It just doesn't. That's why those of us that are conduits, we are seeing multidimensional timelines and threadings of the all right now. It's not in past, present, or future. When we say Akash, when I'm presented with Akashic information, I'm presented with a vibrational experience. And then I'm feeling into, if we say past, it's not really, it's just now. It's just this now moment of experience that's in a relationship to whatever you're experiencing now, whether it be through a trauma, a belief, or a system that you're here to transcend. Because it is not, it's all now. You are now. And whatever you're going through right now will pull in those memories of now experience for you to transcend it. Transcending a limiting belief that was also related to that timeline, which is also now. So the now omnipresent experience that you have potentiation with, that is the ecstasy of God is everywhere. Are you vibrationally aligning with it? Do you understand and know thyself as spirit, as within, so above, as within, so without, and as above, so below? You're harmonizing all aspects of you as God. I'm harmonizing my soul self as God. I'm harmonizing my soul self as God. That means that in now how I see my multidimensional reality, it's all 5D omnipresent, through which there's a part of my consciousness, not all of my consciousness, there's a part of my consciousness that is moving about this, mirrored material 3D reality because it's familiar. Knowing that the kids are at school, you've got to pick them up and you've got to do these 3D things. But the consciousness, the all of you, the omnipresent ecstasy, God of you, is there in those realities that are wanting to create those really special, miraculous things that you're ready for. However, the you in this space right now said, I didn't know it was there. I didn't know it was ready. I didn't know if there was parts of me there that are ready, and how do I do it? How do I get there? I'm absolutely experiencing myself in different ways because the body is playing catch up, if you will, to the infinite ways that we've just been activated through our DNA, through our spiritual gifts, through our telepathic and psychic gifts, our multidimensional gifts, all held within the multidimensional bodies and systems and the fields that we are now sensing and being and fluidically moving as spiritual energy. That spiritual energy contains intelligence and wisdom and honorings, and your bodies know it. And so your bodies are feeling and can feel, especially right now as we're going through this full moon, the juxtaposition between, wow, I really want to play, but I have some density I've got to clear. Wow, I really want to play, but I have some density here. So just be in the moment of just constant harmonization. I'm accepting all that was, and I'm releasing the limiting belief patterns because I know I'm expansive. And be in this now harmonization. I'm harmonizing all aspects of me, divine male, divine female, harmonizing all of it. And I know that I'm coming to this beautiful place that my mind, body, heart, spirit, and soul, my higher mind and my guides and my teams, and all that is source creator is activating me because I truly am ready to be in a new experience of me so that I can express myself, so that I can explore myself, and I can experience myself in a different way that is creating new templates of fifth dimensional realities that look nothing like 3D. And so each and every one of us come with a soul's blueprint and a soul's theme. What is it that we want to create? The sacred trinity of who we are. Within the teams of the higher selves and your soul team of who you are, with Gaia and with your collective, it's always that sacred trinity. And your soul blueprint will always have themes, conditions, lessons, deep soul wounds that you need to heal, 51% of your karma that you need to heal. And by owning it and claiming it and clearing it out, returning to center, returning to yourself, your self-direction, knowing that you are your only guide. Nobody can hinder you. Nobody can block you and suppress you. Although there have been people that have tried, and the stories that we've told with one another and shared with one another about various suppressive programs and different things that people do to try and manipulate and thwart others' experiences that they can play in their games and their stories. They're all a part of the experience of source and understanding ourselves as omnipresent. And you can just choose as a divine sovereign being, because free will is the law of one, the number one law of our universe. That once you choose in free will, then that is what creates your reality. And then perceiving it, focusing in it, directing your energy thereof, it releases you from these lower vibrational stories that you don't want to play with it. Because you've done it. You've been there, you've done it. It's harmful. Let it go. You've learned your lesson. And those that knock on your door, especially in retrograde, that want you to come back and play those stories with them, you can just simply say, no, my free will stands in a different place now. And these are my boundaries and my standards so that I'm maintaining and sustaining the alignment with who I am. And this omnipresent of source creator is the ecstasy of source. It's always a continual song of God. And unless we are not tapping into it, then we're continuing to play and call forward the reality that we've known the day before. Remember, everything is a now creation. So what are you calling into your now creation? Are you understanding yourself as beautiful and sacred and omnipresent? Are you calling yourself in the magnificence of spirit that's always preparing you for greater spirit, the ecstasy of spirit? It's always a song that's being played for us to co-create these worlds within. And in the experiences this week, I thought, well, why don't we come forward with greater intention of what each of us wants to come forward in this 5D reality? Our intentions as a collective to come forward in sacred play and sacred honor and sacred beauty and sacred blessedness of one another, to create great health and great abundance for all. Abundance meaning all things, nothing to do with monetary experience, because those that are in spirit know that. When you're operating from a level of spirit, you're abundant just to be excited to create. That's abundance. When you feel enjoyed just to create abundantly in who you are as spirit, you're expressing yourself as spirit. There's nothing holding you back, and you're accepted and honored as that expression. You're in an environment where people support you in your expression, where people lift you up and cheer you on for your expression. That's abundance. So you're seeing yourself as this omnipresence ecstasy. And in this ecstasy of who you are, all things become more readily available to you to see, just as in the mall, in the house of the many mansions. You're now being able to see and to feel it and to sense it in ways, and again, in words we don't have, because we don't have words for what is opening in our gifts. We just don't. We can, if we so choose, because I was asking my teens in the councils, and God, what do I call this new way of communicating? Because it's a multidimensional communication. There's infinite things going on right now, just as my words are far beyond what is being offered in energy, is far beyond what the words are saying. And those of you that understand vibration know that. There is a multidimensional intention through passion, through love, through joy, through creativity, to know that everything is vibrational harmonics. God is everywhere. So in the expression of your sovereignty of you, you've allowed yourself to up level and honor yourself as this beautiful vessel of God. And all that you are is the expression of God living through you. Not only that, but there is the ecstasy of God in and around and all about you. Now, because we're shifting into these new dimensional realities, it's important that what excitement do I want to create for my reality? What's 5D mean for me? How do I want to intend and focus on it? I want to focus on joy. Number one, why not? that could be the most experiential capacity that creates greatness, right? It's the joy to be who we are, the joy to create a piece of art, the joy to create happiness, the joy to move in your body in a new way and feel your body feeling spirit in all ways. Being joyful about communicating with your kids in new ways, because you know they get it. They absolutely do. And I'll give you this experience. And this is just how we're shifting. It's very subtle, but there's many things going on right now that are hard to explain because we don't have words for what's going on. We are shifting into a new way of becoming, of energy, and how to receive it, be open to receiving it, giving yourself permission to receive God, the ecstasy of God in new ways. When you receive the ecstasy of God in new ways, you're activating the energy remembrances of who you are as spirit. They're showing me right now. You are allowing your ecstasy of God to be what it wants to be in that moment through the soul. Linearly, we would think, well, why would we do that? Wouldn't we have to like A to Z, linear? I want to feel this because I need a car and I'm going to go to work and then I'm going to come home and then this. No, your soul says the ecstasy of God wants you to experience your Pleiadian life right now. And then you just feel the ecstasy and you actually see Pleiades right in front of you. See what we're saying? So when you're creating a 5D Earth, yes, you are on the planet and the vibration of Earth, but you're also experiencing whatever it is your soul wants you to experience, that you want to experience, that you have joys to experience because of the elegance of who you are as spirit. Your higher self and your spirit knows, as you're harmonizing with your higher self, that that experience was needed and required for a multitude of experiences. So trust it. It might be to activate a gift. It might be just to remember your family. It might be to honor the expression of Gaia from the Pleiades so that you can honor it here and create something new here. See what we're saying? So the ecstasy and the omnipresence of God is knowing that all lands, all realities are available to you if you so wish. It's always free will. But obviously, if you're sensing into it, you're tapping into it, you're feeling your telepathic and psychic gifts change. You're doing so and being so because there are infinite experiences of ecstasy for you to experience. And why not? Who doesn't want to experience ecstasy in the most spiritual and organic and authentic, genuine way that we can? Nothing to do with any outside additive. That's why we go through these experiences, so that we know, well, this is always short-lived and will never ever fulfill me. So how do I seek within myself to do the spiritual fulfillment of this ecstasy, bliss? Spirit, you are spirit. Spirit's everywhere. You are spirit in all things. Now, how we get ourselves to that is by also healing everything that we call before us, and anything that's conflicting, anything that we judge. So anything that you judge, you still have separation with, you still have attitudes about. So call it in and love it. Make it whole. It's you. The more that you do so, you're opening yourself in that portal to the ecstasy of God, because God is all things. All is God. It's all source. Now, how can you start sensing into the new gifts that are being activated through your omnipresence, your essence of source, and start creating and intending the reality that you truly want to create? So why not start with joy? Who doesn't want to be joyful? Who doesn't want to live in a peaceful reality that's truly joyful? Wow. I just had an incredible experience, and I just had coffee with a friend, and it was really joyful. We were just allowing each other to be spiritually flowing and creative, and we were just totally in honor and acceptance of one another, and it was really joyful. And I'm going to bring that joy home, and I'm going to bring it and express it with my kids, because I know that they're ready for that frequency of joy and bliss. This is a multidimensional experience that goes beyond what we see, what we sense, what we hear, what we can feel, clairsentience. All of these gifts are changing to a higher vibrational sense of omnipresence ecstasy. And we don't have words for it. It's the frequency of ecstasy of the omnipresence that's always here. And it will allow us to heighten, amplify, and expand in who we are as vessels and beings of light. We are spiritual science. Everything within us is changing. We are changing within, creating these beautiful realities. And that is the beautiful benevolence of the flow of I'm creating my reality. So why not begin with joy? My cells are joyful. My cells are healthy and pure, and they're absolutely ready and prepared. I've been preparing my body for greater light, because I am greater light. I am the experience of all realms of all ecstasy. I am greater light, and I can feel it, and I can breathe it, and I can create with it, and I can create something from nothing, because that's what Source provides me. Source provides me that potentiation through my free will. I will align myself with ever greater stories of who I choose to be, because I can. And it can be ecstasy. It can be blissful. It can be absolute adventurous joy, where we're constantly creating from the spiritual realm that is right before us. Right before us. And so I will give you an example from what my sessions and my experiences were this week. My beautiful son came to me with this beautiful story that he had written. And he's so talented, and his story was just like mind-boggling. He had me enraptured in the first paragraph. And the whole story, I was just like, I can't believe that you wrote this. This is just like so incredible. You're like 10 years old, and you just wrote this incredible story. And I'm gonna videotape it. I'm gonna read it and videotape it. And he was just in awe of his becoming of the story. There's multidimensional experiences that I'm talking to, and this is why I'm offering this as an example. And so I was offering to him, I said, when you are operating in a multidimensional way, and you're expressing yourself in a multidimensional way, and you know this for a few reasons, and they're very subtle, so pay attention. When you can look at a strawberry and write a story about a strawberry is just not a strawberry, it's more than that. You get yourself inside that strawberry, and you feel it, and you soak it for all it's worth, and then you present it, and then you offer it. That is the ecstasy of Source. And that's what my son presented me with. He presented me with this beautiful, imaginative, brilliant little story, and he went inside of that story, and he soaked it for all it's worth. That's how you know you're a multidimensional communicator, because you can communicate things at a multidimensional level, and you can sense it, you can feel it, you can hear it, and you can go into deep depths with it. You can stretch it out for all it's worth, and then you come through with the expression of it. Where a strawberry is not longer strawberry, a strawberry is wow. That's God. That is the ecstasy of God. That is the ecstasy of why we're here to create 5D. That is how we should be aligned with creating 5D. And is that not exciting? Are you not ready to create? Are you not ready to be the expression of who you are as spirit? Of course. Of course. When a flower is not just a flower. Are you kidding me? That's why when I was a kid, it was just like, there was so much that I was just in awe of everything, because I could see it, and I could sense it, and I could feel it in all different ways. And people would just walk by, and I was like, I'm like, why? It's just a flower. It's just this. It's just that. You're so sensitive. And you're just like, you're seeing the whole experience of spirit coming to life right in front of you. For those of us that can feel it and sense it and know it in all the ways that spirit is pointing it out to us, it's there. And now we're coming to life with it. And so just feel into it. Feel into how you're expanding. Feel into how you're being activated in your gifts. Feel into those things that a color is not just a color, it's so much more. Remember, we're entering into something we've never experienced before as humans in this experience. So get in there and feel into the ecstasy of what it is, because it's source and you absolutely know it is. That's why it's so fun to go there and be it, because it's now and it's here and it's excellence. It's you saying, I deserve to be excellent. I deserve to experience myself as excellence. I deserve to experience myself as bliss, joy, and ecstasy. I do. And I'm going to create a story with it and a land, because I can, because I'm a creator, because God will, because I am. And release yourself from all those stories that say you're less than and less than and less than and less than. No, those are not my stories. Surrender it. I'm over here playing. And you have those potentials now to call those codes in, to activate yourself as the omnipresence and create in that way, because it's so magnificent and it's eternal and infinite. You're not meant just to be here to say the words that you're meant to say. You are meant to express your words in chanting and singing and light language and the amplification of who you are as light. That's not meant to be done like anybody else. It's meant to be different. It's meant to be unique. It's meant to be genuine. We're meant to create, what is my intention for my 5D earth? What does it look like? What does my 5D earth feel like? What do I want to see and what do I want to experience in that 5D earth? How can I explore it in colorful ways, in imaginative ways that serves the greater good? Because that's why I'm here. Because you absolutely know that sacred Trinity, you are threaded, for your gifts are needed. Your gifts are inspired and are influential to those that want to have that impact. Because I am here to offer inspiration. I'm here to offer those that so desire to take their experience to a new level of inspiration, of new levels of potentiation, because we can, because we're God. We are meant to be human, spiritual, science creators of love and light, benevolence for the greater good, and alignment with light programs. And in that, there is eternal light. There is eternal life. There is eternal health. There is eternal wellness. Of course, there is a spirit. The ecstasy of spirit. The ecstasy of God. And that's the joy of it, being it. Where your story is no longer a story. It's all that is. Where that strawberry is no longer a strawberry. It's like, oh, you just went into another realm, man. Because you can. You absolutely can. Realms are right here waiting for you to say, oh, I give myself permission. There's the veil. Because we've been told and we've held ourselves in such separative energy experiences that, oh no, I've got to do something. I've got to do something else. That's that egocentric experience. Got to do, got to get. No, it's about you living in the excitement and the joy of who you are as a sacred child. And as we offered on our Facebook post the other day, Pleiadians a long time ago had offered me. And so go back to the story for your children that are multidimensional and how to express and expand and really have them empower themselves to expand their creative and expressive abilities, because they're so far beyond what our potentials are now offering them. When I was talking to my son, I said, you know that you're a profound writer and you're a profound experiencer of spirit and source in a multidimensional ways, is when you take people inside your story and it goes 100 different ways, and it can. Because you're in there. You can hear what's going on there. You can know what's going on there. You can know what's going on there. And you just thread it seamlessly and it comes out like a beautiful song and a beautiful poetic prose. That's spirit. And that's how the kids are seeing. They don't see in a linear way. Read chapter A to Z. No. They're multidimensional. And when they tell a story, it is multidimensional. And so how do we inspire them in that way? We are inspiring our kids multidimensional, make no mistake about it. Let's go linear. Not there anymore. It's only there because you say it's still there, because you keep going back to that story that's linear, past, present, future. Keep looking at pictures from the past. The pictures there are not there anymore. Now. It's all now. The ecstasy of God is now. The ecstasy of God is now. The ecstasy of God is now. You are a multidimensional being, and there are threads in this beautiful sphere of all that you are, and you can receive as God. You are a sphere of God, and you can constantly receive in all ways that you so choose. And there's constantly these threads that are going off in excitement to create. And when your fields awaken, your subtle fields and your subtle bodies, and how you are as a communicator, how you are as a receiver and a sender and a healer through the Christic fields that you operate within, you're absolutely being activated by all of the subtle energies that are within your field that say, there's something going on here. Are you going to tap into it? Are you going to dive into it? Are you going to discover it? Are you going to be adventurous of it? Those gifts and skills won't be activated. They won't be initiated. They won't be explored unless you go and do it. Be it. Does that make sense? Your gifts and skills are there. The ecstasy of God is there. Are you seeking it? Most would say no, because most are still coming from this 3D experience, and that's fine, because we've never been taught, we've never been here before. But we're now showing you, we're now offering to you, you are ecstasy of God. Can you align with whatever ecstasy earth you want to be on? So have fun playing. Be creative, be playful. What do you want to create? What do you and God say, what is my protocol for the creation of my 5D earth? And Source will say, do you love who you are? Can you love yourself like I love you? And breathe. And ground. Can you love yourself like Gaia loves you? Gaia knows your name. Can you know and give yourself permission that you have been in receipt of so many gifts? That you have a brilliant, brilliant soul plan that's written just for you. And you're constantly being renewed, constantly being cycled with new love and new light. You are the ambassador of a new earth experience just for you that will, by just loving who you are, expressing who you are, being impassioned of who you are, will automatically serve the greater good. And that spiral continues. Do you know that when all is required of you is just to be in joy and in love of who you are? To activate great health within yourself? To return to the benevolent brilliance of who you are within yourself, not look outside of yourself for any wisdom or intelligence? That you will always have activated the wisdoms that you need and require in all moments that you need it. And then when it's not needed, it will be forgotten. Then you call it in when you need it again. That there is the experience of linearity, but it's not a thing. It's all now. You can heal now. You can surrender now. You can activate new gifts now. There's new realms of ecstasy waiting for you now. What are the intentions and the focus and the direction of your energy? Where is that being placed? Is it placed on the goodness of you and the joy of you? Is it placed on the forgiveness of all that has harmed and ailed you? Is it on the forgiveness of yourself when you've harmed and ailed others? Where's your focus and intention going? The focus and the intention comes back, because that is the spiral, that's the law of one. That's just this spiritual experience of our multiverse. It's constant spiral. And those that have created those experiences and timelines of the controlling experiences and the timelines that we've all experienced, in the spell work of binding and confusion spells and binding spells and all the things that are sent to others to control another's path or to control another's movement and experiences. When they're sending those out, they're going to come right back to the person that is sending them, whether they think it will or not. It does. So if you're sending out energies to control others, to confuse others, to bind others in whatever way it is, you will experience the energy of the vortex that you've created through those spells. And why we've always offered those experiences of just understanding the law of one, understanding who you are as light, understanding that you will have all things brought to you if you're in alignment of who you are as love, the honoring of you as love, the expression of who you are as love, the valuing of who you are as love, and all will be brought to you. There's no need to do energy that controls and manipulates others to act in a way that you want them to, because that's not acting within the right use of will. And it will spiral in the vortex, and that is what you will experience and create for yourself. And everything around you will be controlled. It will be as if you can't get out of the controlling experience. It will be as if you can't get out of the binding experience, because that's what you've created. And we must also know that they were giving me this morning that just to be aware of, we're not judging anyone that does spell work at all, because that's the experience that your soul needs. But when you understand the laws of the universe, you don't need them, because you understand that your initiation of honoring who you are and receiving who you are comes from within. There's no need to press any controlling energy on anyone. Spirit loves to give you everything you need. You just need to align with who you are as love, and all will be provided. But then you have to work through those soul stories on why you thought you needed to control and thwart in others in those ways. You know, it's the ego that wants to control the story. And those are just timelines that we're healing from other timelines and other planets. So it's just to honor and understand what's going on in those experiences. But what they also showed me this morning is that we're wanting to bring it to the attention, because there's been many stories and many people that have been affected by controlling experiences through spell work and things. Those that every person and every soul that's going through awakening has their own temperament and their own pacing. Their soul's experiencing what their soul needs to come to that heightened state of their own oneness with spirit. So if there is other energies that are being manipulated and thrown into the environment and thrown against that person, when that person is going through a soul activation where they're releasing a lot of deep and dark traumas from their past histories, and they're already in an imbalanced state, and there's energies from those that have been entangled with, and they've chosen to take on stories of working with people that do spell work against them and with them and on them, they're not only working against the traumas of the timelines they're trying to heal and clear, they're also working within the negative energies that they've been sent through spells. And it's very damaging, very damaging. And again, those that are sending those types of spells to create confusion and binding and any other energies that are used in that way are also coming back to those that have sent it, because that's the energy vortex that they need to experience to know and understand the deeper allowance of who we are as natural, honoring, authentic beings. When you are living from a space of just centering and honoring in who you are, you understand that there will always be the return path to spirit, the return path to love. It's when all of the manipulations go on through ego, through the wanting of a story to unfold in a certain way, or the wanting to get of a certain thing, the wanting to receive of a certain thing, that's ego. Because the ego doesn't know, has not been trained, and has not been told that all is available. And when you just live in the allness of spirit and source, it's always ecstasy. There's no need, ever any need, to create manipulative, thwarting energies to affect others negatively so that one gets what one wants. And so those that have done that type of experiential work will always create a vortex of themselves in that experience. And it is very harmful. It's very harmful. I've experienced it. In those experiences of my past few years, when I was releasing deep traumas from timelines, and there was energy work being sent to me and spells being sent to me that were very, very painful and traumatic. And so we have to understand that those that continue to create those stories for themselves, the consciousness that one creates with those experiences, when someone is not feeling balanced and they're doing their best they can to hang on by a thread, and there's being extra energies that are being thwarted upon them in a very negative and harmful way to confuse or control outcomes of what they see and what they don't see. Those are very harmful energies and harmful effects that the sender and the receiver are all affected. The collective is affected, and they're very harmful. And so before one chooses to do certain acts like that, really understand that if one is going through a very powerful release and a soul trauma release, or they're going through depression and they're moving through the best way that they can, to do any other work like that would be, it's absolutely playing with fire and with other people's lives. That again, the right use of will, crossing so many boundaries, and it's very harmful and it's very damaging at a cellular level and a spiritual level. And so why I've been very open about talking about it, because so many people have been affected by negative spell work, and it's not needed. It's really not needed. When you understand who you are as spirit, and you love who you are as spirit, and you're just operating from spirit, you absolutely know that when you're in a vibration of love, when you're in a vibration of love and loving who you are and just doing your best and clearing the energies, just clearing them, there's no need for manipulation in the games and the stories. There's no need for it, because spirit will offer you everything that is meant for you. Everything's meant for you. The most beautiful lover that's in your soul that you've contracted with to come with you and play the beautiful sacred part with you, right? It's all there. Your abundance, your health, your wellness, it's all there. So why not play from this balanced state of the law of one, and releasing those stories of victimization, releasing the stories of us and them, releasing the stories of black and white, understanding why they're there and that they've taught us a lot of great things. I certainly learned a lot about how to rebuild my bodies, and the teams working with me to create the renewal of my bodies and my spiritual energies that were absolutely affected in in a way that was great. And I'm now a part of helping awaken humanity to multidimensional healing. Because anyone that's going through depression, anyone that has a really traumatic soul release, anyone that's releasing inner child wounds about abuse and control, manipulation at a mental or emotional level, the last thing they need is anyone putting any types of manipulations on them, confusion and binding spells and things like that. And we're here to bring attention to know that those are very, very harmful. And would anybody want any of that on their conscience, to know that they've placed someone that is so vulnerable in a position of such pain that they want to create damage of themselves. It's so wake up. Honor who we are as brothers and sisters. That what you put out will always come back. And that's the vortex you create for yourself. So be in honor of all beings, be in honor of all people, be in honor of all life. It's all sacred, and you will be rewarded tenfold. That's just spirit. So just to be aware of that, because our collective is going through huge awakenings. And so be of higher and greater light, and just send light and love. Release yourself from the stories that are causing the drama, going back and forth. Just release yourself and step out and start creating anew. You don't have to be entangled in the back and forth anymore. State who you are. State what your intentions are. State your boundaries. Fill up your field with love and light, with love and light, with love and light. Know that your love and your joy for you will not put you in a vibration to be receiving of any of those experiences. And speak with pride and speak with honor and owning when you do sense those things going on, and sense those things in the energy field going on. And whether others believe you or not, you're speaking your truth that is profound and real. Because there's nobody that would want to go through an experience where people are harmed. You just don't. Why would you want that in your karma? Why would you want that in your experience? Right? It all comes back. It all comes back. What vortex are you creating for yourself? So forgive yourself and forgive others, and let the little pettiness go. And know that the law of one is always in working. Spirit is always working. Spirit is always manifesting. Spirit is always watching and seeing all. And it's unescapable. It's unescapable. And this is what our collective is awakening to. So be very present, and be very honoring, and be very knowing that all people are going through their own pacing, their own temperaments. And reach out to those that are having a tough time. And be okay to reach out and say, I'm having a really tough time. I'm going through this release right now. I'm not sure what to do. We have lots of videos on our site on how to walk through releases, how to clear out your chakras daily. Your daily self-care is really, really important. Clearing out the energies, acknowledging the densities, forgiving yourself and loving yourself, and forgiving all others, and then live from a space of love and light. Love and light. And send everybody love and blessings. And allow yourself to know that there's infinite aspects of ecstasy that you can create within. And doesn't that feel a lot better? Doesn't that feel a lot better? And you can release the stories that are steeped within the pain and the trauma. Allow yourself to receive. Spirit wants you to receive. Spirit wants you to receive, and be that compassionate person that just keeps sending love and light to everyone. They're doing their best to process what they need to process. And it is important for every person to remain and to be in that centered state, to know that all will be provided. There's no need to worry or send any type of intention to manipulate any outcome. No, just be in your love, and Spirit will align things for the highest and the greatest good. That's all you need to intend, the highest and the greatest good. Because it's up to nobody to dictate what any one person's meant to experience and explore. And that's just honoring free will. And those lessons will come back to every person that inhibits that, or controls that, or suppresses that, or depresses that to anyone. Those lessons will absolutely come back, because they must. Your soul is aching to learn that lesson of how can I just allow people to live their life without me controlling it, without me controlling an outcome, without me controlling finances, without me controlling whatever it is that the ego wants. Because remember, it's an ego experience that thinks it's in lack of, that why it creates those experiences. When you just understand the ecstasy of God, and live within the alignment of that, the alignment of the ecstasy of life, of all light, then there's no need to experience the need to do those choices that just spiral you in stories of that. And so release yourself from those victimization stories. My outcome of my life is completely mine. I create my destiny. I create a balanced mind, a balanced body, and I'm so healthy. I am the commander of my body. I am the commander of creating a blissful reality for me. I'm a commander of creating greatness for me and honoring for me. And the love that I send out to everybody is just going to be returned to me. And when I'm living in my sacred truth, I know that Spirit will bring me the right soulmates. Spirit will bring me the right experiences. Spirit will bring me the right wealth and abundance and partners, and the right celestial teams to connect with, and the right places on the planet to travel and traverse. I know that as I'm living from Spirit. And I bless everybody and I forgive everybody that was part of those stories for me, because they allowed me to see all aspects of who I was, and forgive myself for any frequencies and realms that I played those roles. And I forgive everybody that was involved in those stories. And I wish everybody well, and everybody love, and everybody the beautiful compassion of who they are as Spirit, to create their own world of joy and blessing and gardens of love and beauty. And if your heart is there and your heart is meant to be with somebody, then it just will. Because the destiny and the fate of Spirit is flowing and easy. If it's ever forced, manipulated, or felt like there's so much that has to happen to make something work, it's not meant to be. When you're living from this fluidic space of ecstasy of source, it just will. Everything will fall into place. That is the shifting of our consciousness. And what the last thing they want me to offer again is this beautiful full moon is about us honoring every single person, no matter who they are, no matter what they think they've done in the past. Every single aspect of life is worthy of the nourishment of God. Every aspect of life. There is no judgment from source. And how do we move about life in the knowingness that our worthiness, just to be here, just to be in our name, is worthy of the ecstasy of God? We're meant to be nourished. We're meant to be valued. We're meant to express who we are as love. We are meant to explore and experience who we are as love. We're meant to be the potentiation of God in our highest ecstasy, and not to hold anybody back, not to hinder anyone, not to suppress anyone, not to stop anyone's gifts from exploring and being that beautiful soaring dove that all are meant to be. All are meant to be the exploration of source in all ways. But what is the belief within oneself to do so and be so? We're meant to be joyful. We are meant to be nourished in all ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And we are the commanders. We are the choosers that say, no, I choose to be in this experience because it nourishes me. It allows me to be my highest and my best. And I'm releasing myself from situations that hold me in any vibration of manipulation or control or any vibrations in that experience. And aren't we wanting to allow our children to be that as well? Would we want our children to know that they are only limited to a certain experience? No, that's why they're so bored, because there's just the same pattern. And so we're here to create ecstasy now. We're here to create from the program of ecstasy. We're here to create from the program of oneness, where there's no need to do anything or want anything different from anyone that is just oneness and love, because it will always spiral back around, always, because everything is now. Everything is now. Everything is now. So from this moment forward, promise yourself to live from the space of ecstasy and love. What do your 5-dimensional timelines look like? What are your intentions for those timelines? What incredible things that we don't have words for that you want to experience and explore and express? Dancing as you're levitating and creating light language. Dancing and playing with the fairies and the gnomes and all those on the other side of the veil. It's right here. It's right now. It's all the ecstasy of God. We thank you, dear lighted ones. This is the beautiful, beautiful strawberry full moon, which means that you are meant to be nourished in all of the abundance that is source, the infinite abundance that is source, the ecstasy that is source. And know that all of your gifts, your telepathic, psychic, and multidimensional gifts are being amplified and activated. So just allow your body to process these new upgrades, giving yourself lots of silent time, releasing all news programs, turn all things that are negative and limiting and fearing and controlling off. Direct your attention into ecstasy and bliss and joy. Spend more time with Gaia. Spend more time with playful experiences and experiences that make you feel playful and loved and honored. And allow all others to be in their sacred space, in their sacred pace, in whatever way they so choose. Honor their path, for they are all spirit, they are all source. They are all an aspect of you. And so if there is any experiences that are outside of, other than just accepting, then there's more healing to be done. So anything that comes before you, accept it. Accept it as you. And feel into the blessing and how much emotions come forward in that. Because it's just been you waiting for you to be accepted. So accept it. Understand the law of the universe. Understand the law of one. Understand the law of ecstasy. Light begets light. And all things are good in between. But just understand the consequences. Just understand understand how others, and oftentimes, I know for me, barely hanging by a thread. And it's damaging. And it takes a lot to recover from things that are done on a daily basis, to some that are done on a daily basis, just to control an outcome or to cause sabotage or thwarting or whatever the intentions are. And then that's going to sit in your kosh, and that's going to sit in your soul's record for you to clear. And that's for source and the karma board to suss out, and your soul and your higher self to suss out. But we always bring forward the information for those that have been suffering from those types of experiences, where their bodies and their experiences in their house and their home have just seemed to be plagued by the negativity and the trauma and the experiences of such, because of torn relationships and because of ancestral curses and other things that are going on in the collective that are just trying to instigate fear, instigate lack of control, and instigate any other thing. That we are divine sovereign beings, and that is the only truth. We are divine sovereign beings, and we are love. That is the only truth. We are infinite and eternal in all ways that we're able to explore God, and that is the infinite truth. Everything is the law of one, and that is the truth. And so allow yourself to align in that, dear lighted ones, and know that you are an eternal being of light, and you have every right and birthright to express and explore and experience yourself as love and as joy and as honor. And hopefully we will have the beautiful experience on our planet that we each are harmonizing in our hearts as oneness, unification, and joy and ecstasy for one another, in just the natural, genuine, authentic expression of who we are as star seeds, cosmic seeds, Christic beings, beings from all over the galaxies, as our DNAs are being activated and we remember one another as brothers and sisters. And we thank you, dear lighted ones, for being with us. Don't forget to play. Honor yourself and honor your bodies as you're processing so much light. Know that how you will be communicating, feeling, interpreting, and processing information will be different. It will feel different. It's like your synapses and the pathways to how you receive and send out information, how you experience and express information are being rerouted. So just be okay with that. Go slow and be patient with yourself, and really practice creative play, practice creative exploration, practice your creative joy and adventure through life, because you're meant to be the exploration of you as love and as graciousness, because you are source and spirit, and we love you so much. Goodbye, everybody. We love you. For those of you that would like to donate, our tabs are down below. Private coaching sessions, you want to email me and send a donation in below. Our sacred glyphs, I'm booked up for the next 2 weeks on glyphs. And so I'm only taking private clients right now. And our classes, our Ascension classes, every Saturday for the alignment and the honoring and the amplification and expansiveness of who you are as an epicenter of light. We thank you, dear lighted ones, and we love you so much for the unity and the oneness of all. Thank you, dear lighted ones. Bye. We love you. Rainbow Tickle.